How's it? Excuse me. How's everybody doing on this? Some people say Throwback Thursday. I say Take Back Thursday because we need to take some things back that are ours, and some of us don't even know that they're gone. So, checking in on you today. We're going to try to encourage people to understand that before we move forward with some of these suggestions that I'm seeing, gotta unlearn some things. Back to the habituation from yesterday. Didn't really go into deprivation, but when people are deprived of various things for a long period of time, meaning that you can't live in our neighborhoods. And this goes on for years. And then you allow them to start living in so-called better neighborhoods. I don't buy that. It was a very well manipulated plan because you were dealing with a people that did not have their holistic human psyche. Now, for those of you that don't know what that is what human beings operate and function up under. Your human psyche gives you the ability to know certain things, how to react to certain things, what to do when certain things happen to you, and functionability, not dysfunctionability. And there are a lot of well-to-do descendants of slaves, blacks, etc., but they're dysfunctional. Case in point, whenever there's a problem in the areas that we live in, because we have no communities, go look it up. In a community, you control the politics, the economics, the businesses. You have a supermarket, school system, and a couple other things. We're going to do a show on that because we all don't have the same understanding. Hey, Barry. And that's one of the problems, too. We're all functioning under a different knowledge level and understanding. And that is why we cannot be agreeable in unity. Not only that, we're from different tribes, and most of us don't know that because most of us have not journeyed back to the motherland. I encourage all black people who can afford it to go to Kemet because that is where the truth is. Now, when you deprive a people of certain things and you then give it to them, mentally now you have them within your grasp to do anything you want to do with them because you have controlled their destiny. You have controlled their movement. And our movement was controlled for hundreds of years. It still is controlled today. I often tell people that you're in prison. They're like, no, man, I'm free. No, you're not. Try to leave. Try to leave America tomorrow and don't have a passport. And certain countries now won't even take you with a passport. I mean, I was just joking. Anyway, it's been a very well laid out process to break up the black family, to destroy, to further destroy our human psyche, and to keep us kind of like dogs chasing our tails. You know, it's very difficult to get something accomplished if you have a group of black people, because everybody, I'm going to say understanding, I'm not going to say belief system, because you can believe anything. That don't make it true. And that's a problem within our beings. We have allowed new people on the planet to totally wipe out our thought process within our own best or self-interest. And I've been looking at this for a long time, because I was in business until I retired at age 56, and then began to consult with business people and nonprofits. And now, you know, we're working with some of them in our program, and I'm trying to finish by the end of the year our program under the Kid Shop Yet organization. And our website is www.ksyet.org, and is a family-based life skills, career, business, and entrepreneurship training program. I have a full manual, master learning manual, curriculum, everything. We even have some businesses that when people are ready and developed, they can step into in our on-the-job training for ownership program. So, you know, that's some of what I'm doing. I don't, talk about it a lot, but you can go on our Facebook page and Kid Shop Yet, and it pretty much updates you. We're getting some other things ready for 2021. But, through habituation, going back to what I was saying, all of these problems that we have, we didn't create them. They were bestowed upon us by this white male ego space system that is totally opposed to our being with soul space synergy and spirituality. We're totally different people. What has happened is we have been manipulated into someone else's culture, and it has not been very good for many of our people. Now, some of us have done very well economically, but as soon as you step out of line, you're called to question. As soon as you are deemed to be a problem, you're called to question. And I've learned to fight fire with fire. I get them up off me because I know who they are. I know how they operate and function. And I know what it's going to take for us to be totally liberated. And we have to just do for self, point blank. We have to establish our own interest. These things have caused us to be dysfunctional. So we can't go into this new era with our same dysfunctions and expect to do better than what we've done. It's not going to happen. We're going to get further and further behind. So today I want to delve into Dr. Richard Williams' book, They Stole It, But You Must Return It, and talk about some of the things that he brings forth. And, it's old information, but we are affected today by the slave experience, and so is white America, because it's unfinished business. We are not holistic as a people. We don't function well as a people. And we don't function well, hey Joel, and we don't function well because we've never, anything we have accomplished in this country, there was over 180 cities like Rosewood and Tulsa, Oklahoma. Those just weren't isolated incidents. Those were situations where we had began to out-progress our counterpart and get up on our feet, and they burned the cities down because they didn't want us to progress. A lot of it is jealousy. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. And if we can't do something in the coming years, because this whole world is changing and going into a new system, and we couldn't master the old one. So now how do we go into this new era and have more control over how we live, how much money we make, where we put our money, the supplies and real estate that we need? How do we do that? And we weren't able to do it in the prior years. So a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's fixing to slap us in the face. And we may not have enough time to do anything about it. But that don't mean you just lay dead. At some point in time, we need our own of everything. And if this generation, the civil rights babies, can't participate in establishing that, then it's going to be the generation of children that's coming up. That's going to be very difficult. We just haven't done what we were supposed to do. We lost our way. My generation in the 50s, once we came through high school and college and went into life, we splintered all across the country. A lot of us didn't want to raise our children the way we were raised. Drugs implemented into our neighborhoods, all kinds of things. This was a very well laid out plan. And you're going to see the result of it because we are not organized. We have no strategy. While we vote, I haven't heard anyone ask what's Biden going to do for us, just like we didn't ask Obama. I don't understand what we're doing besides nothing. I really don't. And I haven't changed much. I've learned more, well-traveled, but I don't see it. Only a few of us gonna make it. And if we keep the ideology that we have, we're really gonna be messed up because it's simply not true. I encourage everybody to pick up Mayat, the principles to guide you to moral living. It is the original information that they took the three religions from. Out of Yoruba and Mayat, our ancestors ruled for 6,000 plus years in Kemet, what is now known as Egypt. So where did these other religions come from? And how did they become so well established in the people's minds? It was force. It's always been, hey Dorothy, it's always been force and fear used to keep us in check. Always. It's never changed, not in my lifetime, and many of yours. The question is, now that we're at this point, and if you don't see what's really happening with COVID-19, then something's wrong. This is a total control move. This is taking it to another level of control. And when the civil rights babies move on, they got the young people because they don't know and understand anything. I had a young lady tell me today, well, this ain't the 40s and the 50s. I said, well, you can't show me the difference. They're still shooting black people down in the street. We're still discriminated against. We still don't have our own. Here in Vegas, I've been here 21 years, and I've watched the Hispanics. They came in, starting in the 90s, and they started organizing, and they moved into neighborhoods, and Smith's was closing, Ralph's was closing, not too far from where I am now, Bonanza and Eastern. They went in that area and they bought every franchise restaurant. You now see Hispanics working there. They set up 4 bus lines back and forth to Mexico, San Diego, California, LA. 4 bus lines. They bought the 2 old supermarkets and created 2 supermarket chains. Now they have 4 supermarket chains of their own here in Las Vegas. I sat in amazement and watched this happen while I saw black people here fuss and complain and meet and couldn't keep one grocery store that was open, Jimmy's Cheyenne Market. It closed. And I didn't find out about it until he was near closing. There's nothing I can really do to assist him. These kinds of things hurt because we're better people than what we've produced. Religion has been in our way. And we weren't called to religion, we were called to spirituality. And that's what they took away from us. They stole it, but you must return it. When they finally got our ancestors off the motherland after 3 attempts, they broke them down. And Dr. Williams covers that in his book, The Milling Process, where they broke down a very rich people, a very knowledgeable people, and began to make slaves out of them. And this has continued on up to now. It was only a change in slavery from owning you to owning you through your wages on your job. I'm not trying to make, belittle anybody or anything. It's a system that was set up. And it's worked marvelously. We can't organize to maintain anything. We haven't done it successfully in too many areas. But if we're going to survive as a nation of people, a lot's going to have to be done. We have no culture. From our original culture to now, it's night and day. We follow the pink people. Whatever the pink people say do, we're right there. We don't even design our own homes, but we have black architects. We have black construction companies. We don't have a lot of construction projects going on, but yet we spend, with the underground economy, we spend over $3 trillion a year. And I know you've heard that figure over the years, and I think it's more than that. What do we have to show for it? We're beginning to do things. We got to get them done. We got to take back our entertainment, music, control our artists, get some facilities so we can do events. That's what's beginning to happen out here. We have a couple out here, they have a beautiful facility. You could put it in a casino and you wouldn't even know it. Moments and Memories Banquet Hall. And I'm just saying that what was taken from us was never replaced. We never saw a benefit in getting back our own culture, finding out what it was, and recreating ourselves. You can look at a book that Earl Conrad wrote years ago. Hey, Denise. Earl Conrad wrote a book years ago called The Invention of the Negro. And when I read it, I saw it. An invented people. I mean, it's like police walk in our community, generally white, kill a young man, young lady, nothing's done about it. I'm beginning to understand that we don't understand do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We do nothing. I talk to my children all the time and my grandchildren because I know what to do. And we formed a coalition to make sure that it gets done. We can't keep living like this, folks, because it's not living. As individuals, yes, we're doing well. But you're only as strong as your weakest link. And we have a lot of people that just have been suffering. Some under their own demise. Others, once you speak up on that job, they got you. That's why I didn't go that route. Because I'm going to say what I got to say. And ain't nobody going to stop me. And I've always been like that. I haven't changed. And I don't have any problems. I tell them straight up, you can leave me alone. Find something else to do. Go find somebody else to play with. I'm not the one. So bringing my family out here, my daughter and her children, same thing applies. They better not start messing with my grandchildren or my daughter. I don't play that. I'm from the old school. I mind my business, you mind yours. Now, if you think I'm your business and you start rolling over trying to control what I do, you're going to have a problem because that's not going to happen. We have got to use our gift of influence to unify ourselves. Wow, I'm in my mid-60s. But this has got to be done for our children and our grandchildren because they're just going to be robots. Hey, Frank, if we don't get the necessary work done, our grandchildren and children, great-greats, whatever, they're going to be robots. I'm just telling you straight up. We have got to begin to put the institutions together so that our heirs, bloodline, can live. Because that's not the plan. The plan is to X us out. And if you don't see it by now, shame on you. We don't have good health care. We don't have our own of too much of anything. Or there's some brothers and sisters that's got it and they struggling and they know they can't come out and say nothing because the system's going to move to smash it. And who do they have to go to for support, for assistance? The things that I've had to do by myself to assist families in this country is shameful. That they didn't have an organization to go to get the dead bodies back of innocent ones that they loved who were killed and weren't doing anything. And they're just going to hold the body for weeks. All kinds of things. Innocent young men and young women down in family court. That's the Human Rights Social Activism Department on www.ksyet.org. I'm putting together a full program to help these young people, to help these young parents, the parents that are still parents. We don't have any resources for our own people. We got to go to somebody else to get everything. We got to go somebody else to shop. We got to go to somebody else to borrow money. It's like, what have we been doing? And I'm not whining, I'm not complaining, because other ethnic groups have their own. When I was coming up, I was told the Jews was our example. Everybody else that come over here is our example, and we've been here. We can't unify and work together. But we love one another. I don't understand that. That don't resonate in my mind and my spirit, that we love one another, but we can't work together. I don't get it. And we need to do something about it, or else we ain't going to have nothing to do anything about it. So, they stole it, but you must return it. Dr. Richard Williams' book talks about how they took our ancestors off the motherland, brought them over here, and began to break them down into these people that no longer controlled their lives every day, but they became enslaved. Because the slave master, if you remember Roots, they showed it to us there, what they did. And they continued to use savagery, brute force, and fear to keep us in line, as they say. Well, it's time to get out of line, because our culture is gone, our discipline is gone. We were never taught, because they don't teach accountability, ethics, honor, integrity, and responsibility in this country. That was not a part of the curriculum. So now how do we pull ourselves together without the 5 pillars of life? Because that's what our ancestors used when they ruled for 6,000 years. And just because a time period has passed, okay, let's say it's over, but we going out like this? Hey, Tony. Yes, things stop and new things start. But it's just been a decline for us, a very intelligent people, a very knowledgeable people, and we can't get it together in America. You go look at some of the things I'm telling you. They took our whole human holistic psyche. That's like taking the engine out of a car. They took our culture. They took our spirituality. Any leader that come up, they kill them. I mean, it's just like me, myself. I can't live like that. I've seen it for years. I can't do it. Hey, James, I can't do it. And it hurts me to see my people just disorganized, just whatever is given, they accept it, no questions, no research, no study. I can see the playbook. I mean, I come out of politics, so I know the games that they play. Vote, 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 vote. Oh, we got to get Trump out of office. Most people don't even know why he's there. See, if you just take the Bible, Pharaoh was tough to make our people make a move. Same thing happening now. This right now is a spiritual awakening, and we're going into the age of Aquarius. We can't take old ways with us. We can't. We got to get to stepping, and we got to organize, and we have to put some heat on the government to assist us. I mean, I haven't heard Biden say anything he was going to do for black people. And I'm not saying that it's necessary. We got all the ingredients to make the cake. Yesterday I talked about Dr. King's book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? Dr. Williams, they stole it, but you must return it. Next Tuesday, I'm going to talk about Dr. Naeem Akbar's book, The Community of Self, and how you develop self and get back that holistic human psyche. Because Dr. Akbar worked with me to get it back. And that's what we need. We're not even our parents, let alone our ancestors. We need to connect the dots in every city, in every location where we are 500 population or more. Internet radio is cheaper to establish than traditional AM, FM. We need to establish our own communication. We need to establish our own stores. We need our own of everything if we're going to survive in this system. And it's been caused over the years. I'm just saying that if we don't do it, it's total destruction. If we don't get the work done to become whole again, and if you think you're whole, I want you to think about what you do. I keep hearing, I don't drive now. It never bothered me when a police car pulled up behind me because I know criminal procedure. I know how to treat people with respect until they disrespect me. I have gotten out of the car on officers because I don't let nobody just mess over me. I don't. And the one thing that I used to tell people when I went to church, I don't understand how fear and God can occupy the same space. Because I know that it can't. There's something wrong with us that we must correct and start handling our business. Because if we don't, the business is going to handle us as it has over the years. Everybody talk about reparations. Where is it at? Then you have your own people, oh, we ain't going to get nothing. Well, we're not going to get nothing because you're not going to help get it. Are we owed anything? Yes. So how can you say we're not going to get it? You say that because you're not going to help fight for it or figure out a way to get it. Those kind of people we have in our ethnic group. It's always can't and It's always can't and ain't. And my grandmother used to tell me that can't died with ain't. I'm working to get some things done. I'm going to be doing some presentations. I have some answers as other people do. I've toned down because the people around me have worked with me. And I'm better in crowds. So, COVID just really messed me up. But there is information that has to be passed personally to our people. I'm definitely not going to talk about it on Facebook Live. I learned from watching some of the predecessors before me that attempted to do some things, killed because of not following instructions. And I'm not asking anybody to follow me either. I'm asking you to look at what we're doing and begin to use some of the ideas that you had. If you want one of our programs, we'll gladly come to the city and establish them. Our programs work. They've been proven. The young ladies that came through the original Kid Shop program in middle school, 2% of them got pregnant out of wedlock. 2%. I got a young man that's still playing professional basketball over in France, Manye Pratt. I got to talk to Manye because he said he's going to do a commercial for the program. I got RNs, professional people. It was 100 families. I started with 4 children. In 4 months, we had 100 families in the program. This is an extension of that. It's a harder time now to get things going because everybody is into individualism. But we're going to get it done. Well, y'all, it's good to see some former friends that I grew up with, classmates I went to school with, people that I know. Because I want to bring the program to Holland Park. It's just been, they were upset with me because I told them off. Because that city, it went from, excuse my language, sugar to shit. And it did it when blacks were in control. When I went back and went down Pasadena, Miss McNair had passed. And I saw Lori, and I still talk to Lori. And I'm like, what happened? And Lori told me that we left. She hit the nail right on the head. And that is what initiated me on this flight back to Vegas. I actually wrote a Holland Park plan. Couldn't get Lindsay Porter's attention. Couldn't get Titus McClary. I had a meeting with Yop, and I had a health issue. I wasn't able to meet with him a couple of years ago. He was the only one that responded outside of Councilman Chris. I can't think of Chris' name. Woodard. But that city, people say, oh, OCU make things sound so simple. Well, if you were in business making lemonade with no lemons for years, it'd be simple to you too. We put up businesses with hundreds of dollars and then built them to make thousands of dollars. It's a way to do it that's not taught. I know that way. I'm going to say that and leave that alone. So, you all stay safe. Take a closer look at this COVID-19. I will be doing a program on it. I'm waiting on some more documentation. I don't trust Dr. Fauci as far as I could throw him. This whole thing is a distraction to do something else. I'll leave it at that. And I know most of you aren't stupid. But at some point, and I'm not saying just black people need to organize. We are in a different arena because we're dealing with capture bonding. Go study the Stockholm Syndrome. That's why we act like we act. You have to understand that those of us who weren't indigenous to this land, we are descendants of people who were stolen from their culture. That makes us prisoners too when you look at it realistically. I don't know how realistic we are now. But people in America have got to wake up. Because when you got 2% controlling 98%, that tells me there's an imbalance and something's wrong. When nobody's doing anything about it, it just continues. All power in 2% hands, not cool. Okay, y'all. Stay strong, stay safe, love one another. And I want to encourage you to do what you can. Up until COVID, I was working 18 hours a day to put together what we have. And nobody really knows what I'm doing. It's not like I can tell everybody. But it's my legacy. It's what I'm leaving the little ones and the bigger ones. And they're beginning to understand. And some of their parents are beginning to understand. But take a look at it. Take care. Love you. And anybody want to reach out to me, it's 702-504-7416. After 7 p.m. Vegas time or before 10 a.m. Vegas time. Early or late. Because during the day I'm kind of jammed up. Take care. Eat right. Stay healthy. And look at that holistic medicine. That's why they're killing the holistic doctors. Hey, Fabian. That's why they're killing the holistic doctors. Because holistic medicine works. Herbs work. These chemicals kill people. Hospitals kill people. That's why we need our own of everything. And we need to go back to the knowledge of Egypt. So you all take care. Until next Tuesday, be safe. And this is O.C. Howard Burton II, and I approve this message, checking in on you. Next week, we're going to deal with Dr. Akbar's book, The Community of Self, and how we develop strong selves and new minds to counter the outer world. Peace and love.